flood in here. That's what this is made for. This is called, and then once it's empty or completely, cook without water, you know. Just water. We need water first. You know what I'm saying? The guy's credit was that he was honest with me. Did the condensed plus installation that would have been poor. That's what he said. He said, you know, pressure built up and that this safety valve is metal. If you have a metal electric. Yes, finally, give thanks to another great rise. Yeah, man, we're back at it again. Well, it's been a long time since I did a project, and this one wasn't by choice. So, one of the worst things that could have happened during, because we are getting to the winter months now, so we are getting down into the lower temperatures and stuff like that. Well, what's the worst thing that could happen during a cold time?
A pipe burst.
No. That would have been easy. Wouldn't be making a video right now. DIY video right now. No. Water heater. Water heater went out on us. So I am going to replace this water heater myself. I did a cost comparison and essentially it would have cost me $4,000, over $4,000 with installation. All right. What it's gonna cost me right now, I'm at $714. Right? So I got the water heater here. This is a 50-gallon water heater. And the one that I previously had was one of those smart ones. And for some reason, them smart ones, you see when you have too much gadgets on a piece of equipment, it says it's smart, but it's not smart enough. All right, so got the water heater. This is actually a shorter one than I had, that the one I'm gonna get rid of. And so I'm actually gonna put that on this metal stand right here, so it's high enough to reach my pipes. I got all my tools over here, my wrench, screwdriver, so forth. Here's my expansion tank. I've actually bought a second one. They last about 5 to 7 years. So this is gonna keep my regulate my pressure if it gets too high. All right, and then I got a drip pan right here. I got my pipe fittings, and these are kind of rated for what do you call them, earthquakes. All right, that's what it says. So these are so flexible. All right, so we are good to go. So first thing we're gonna need to do is Lynn's gonna go turn off the power. I want to make sure so we not work with no power on, and then the next thing I'm gonna have to do is drain the tank. All right, so stay tuned. We're gonna get down into the basement area where the water heater is, so we can start the project. All right, so see you shortly. All right, so as you can see, Lynn went turn the power off, so we don't have no power on this thing. This thing too fancy. We just went back with a regular old normal water heater. Okay, so right now I'm just taking off some of these additional accoutrements. I'm not gonna throw this away because we could probably reuse this at a later time. So I'm gonna put this up here. I don't like it, but I'm gonna keep it. All right, so as you can see, we gotta disconnect the power. But the first thing I want to do, the power is already disconnected. We disconnect the wires, is what I should say. We need to drain this tank first. All right, so I've already opened a pipe in one of the valves. All right, so that releases some of the pressure, and then what we're going to do is just, I got my screw, my hose right here into my sump pump area. Okay, so that's where my water is going to drain off into. All right, so let's see if we can get this thing open. So I think I need a screwdriver. So we'll just open this up. All that water is gonna dump out into my sump pump area. My sump pump, when it gets high enough, will continuously drain the water. All right, so it won't flood in here. That's what this is made for. This is called a sump pump. So basically what happens when the water gets high enough, this will raise up and it will dump the water outside. All right, so we're gonna leave this for a little bit because this is gonna take a few minutes to empty out completely. All right, and then once it's empty out completely, then we'll come back and start doing our disconnections. All right, so stay tuned. We will see you shortly. All right, family, so as you can see, the tank is empty. So now I can go ahead and disconnect my connections. So first things first, we're going to disconnect our water supply. So I already got my water turned off from both sides right here, and I got my main shut off already turned off as well. So right now we're just going to get these connections off. This is pretty simple. My hot water. This should be my cold water. Alright. Next thing, I'm gonna get my electricity disconnected. So here's our power supply. We're going to need to disconnect our grounding wire here. Usually your ground is marked with a green screw. All right. Get the grounding wire out, and then we can disconnect our other wire. So we'll just take that out.
I don't fall for no shenanigans anymore.
They don't like when I do that. Alright. We're just going to keep those separated. I'm just going to let that hang. We're going to put our pieces up. And then we should be able to move this out the way. And actually, let me go ahead and disconnect my hose right here too. Go ahead and close this up. That way I don't get the basement wet, because it's going to be a little residual left over. I don't want that to leak. There we go. Alright, so next thing we're going to do, we're going to get this out the way, and we're going to bring in the new one, set it up, and then we're going to install it. Alright, so stay tuned. We're going to do some manual labor.
Oh, welcome to the channel, my friends, where the vibes never end. Jack of all trades, but I got some skills. I'm gonna share it all, you know how I feel. Welcome to the place, me you feel know. Cooking up dishes and we're ready to go. From Jamaica to the USA, me love to share the flavors every day. We travel the world, go far and wide. On our two adventures we take a ride. DIY projects, let's build it strong. So much to learn, come sing along. If you love good food and a journey Jamaican spice and American soul. Together we make the perfect goal. Whether you cooking or building a space, we got the rhythm and the style full of grace. So join me now, let's share the vibe. The channel's the place where we thrive.
All right. Right. Come on. Just need to. Whew. All right. Might have to lift it from the bottom. Perfect. Outstanding.
That was it?
That was
Yes,
it.
poor guy.
Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, good to go. All right, my people. So I got my son to come help me put this thing up. All right. So as you can see, I got it on the stand. I got my drip pan set up over here, just so you guys can see. So at some point, I will rotate that around before I start filling it up, so that actually I can just, reconfigure the pipe. But either way, the water, if this decides to leak, the water will drip down in there. All right. So in the meantime and in between time, I went ahead and I installed my pressure valve release. So as you can see, it runs. I had to, run it this way so it goes all the way over back down to the sump pump. All right. So if there's any pressure, it will release back and drain out another sump pump. Okay. Next I gotta do is I'm gonna go ahead and connect my water supply. So, and my my tank, my pressure tank. So I need to get some tape on this first. Ooh. So what happens when you're tall? All right, so I'm gonna get some of this pipe tape. I'm gonna get it on both of these pipes so I can try to prevent leaks. You always want to use this when you're doing pipe fittings. All right, so helps with the leaks, or stop the leaks. And you only need to bring it around about 4 or 5 times. That should be more than enough to keep it from leaking. Some people use like silicone and stuff like that, but I know if you have issues and you need to change the pipe, it's going to be a little bit harder to get it off, but still a good thing because it still helps with leaking. So anyway, let's get this on. All right, so this is going to be my connection where I'm going to connect my pipe. So as you guys see, I connect my hose already. So my expansion tank is going to sit on top right here. All right, so this I just need to tighten. I got to use the big boy tighten this. Get it as tight as possible. I don't want to over tighten it. That should be good. All right. So then I can readjust my pipe and I can connect it. So that's going to be my cold water pipe. I'm going to connect right there. Get my wrench. Tighten this bad boy up. I mean, know everybody I say, well, where the food there? The food so come. We can't cook without water, So I need to fix my water supply first before the sit food. So, we'll see what I go on, but we need water first. You know what I say? All right, so that's one. I'm reusing this pipe because it's still good, right? No issues with it. I actually replaced the other one because the rubber bushing that was in it was causing problems, so I just took it out. So this pipe is still good, so I'm going to reuse this one. Let me get this out of the way. Tell you what, people, you see these things that I'm doing right now cost a lot of money. The one good thing I definitely can give the guy credit was that he was honest with me, and he was like, look, right now there's nothing I can do. You better off getting a new water heater. And he even quoted me the price of if I bought the water heater from them plus installation, that would have been $4,000. If I bought the water heater and had them install it, that still would have been at least $1,700, you know. So like I said, he was honest with me and just said, look, you're better off just, if you look pretty handy. That's what he said. He said, you look pretty handy, so I think you can install it yourself. I said, all right, Reggie, respect. So I love that kind of honesty. You know what I say? So now I got my expansion tank right here. I'm going to put some tape on it so I can get it on. Okay, and these tanks, they come pre-charged, so you definitely need to know what your PSIs are for your home, right? So you can check that with an air pressure or a pressure pump outside on your pipes before you actually take this thing apart. All right, which I already know what the PSIs for mine is. So the minimum on this one is 40 PSIs. Okay, and this is gonna help. One, keep my, because that's what happened with my last one. The pressure valve was still going because there's so much pressure built up, and that this safety valve is actually there to make sure that this thing doesn't explode. Really and truly, that's that's the gist of it, because it controls the pressure. But you need an expansion tank. By code, you need to have an expansion tank on your water heater. All right. So I mean, he gave me some good information, and he was like, look, you need to have an expansion tank. You need to make sure that if you're using if you have a metal electric water heater, you need to have a plastic drip pan. So if you look down, that's the reason why you see I put a plastic drip pan down there, because I had a metal one on the previous one, you know. So things where you learn, you know, you don't know until you know. You know what I say? So we're going to tighten this. Not over tight, but where it's secure, you know, so we don't have no leaks. All right. So the last thing I have to do here is connect my power. So try to make this as comfortable as possible. And like I said, my power is still off. And actually, I'm gonna run it. I want to keep it away from the heat, the hot water. So I'm gonna run it right here. There's my screwdriver. So connect my ground wire. All right, so what we're going to do is this is going to go through here, just so we keep everything nice and clean and neat. All right, All right, got my red, black wire, got my ground. I'm just gonna run this through here. All right, my ground wire is in. Where's my connectors? So, black to black. And we got red to white. So, now that I got this connected, I'm going to get some tape, some electrical tape. I'm going to tape it. I'm going to tuck all this in, and then next thing we got to do, we got to turn on the water. So we got to fill up the tank first. All right. Once we fill up the tank, we got to check the water pressure. All right. Once we check the water pressure, then we can turn the power back on and let it run so it can't heat up. All right. So stay tuned. I'm going to get all this stuff cleaned up, and then we will check in when we turn the water on and then check the pressure. All right. So don't go too far. And voila. We are done. So we got everything installed. So the only thing we got to do now is, as I said, we need to, well, I have a water softener because I have a well. So this is the system that softens the water. So I got to put salt in here. So let me go ahead and do that. So I keep my water soft. You know, the hard water is like taking a bath in the rain. It never, the suds never wash off. So this actually softens the water. We might need to upgrade this system because this is an old softener system. So might be something to look at doing in the future, you know? Upgrade this water system. All right, good to go. And funny enough, the same salt you can use for your driveway in the snow. So, fun fact. All right, so let's get our water sources turned on because we got to get these things filled up before we can turn the power on. All right, let me turn on all my water sources. All right, so we're gonna let this fill up, and once it's filled, we're gonna go test our water pressure. All right, so we'll turn on one of the faucets, see what the pressure is like. If everything is good to go, then we turn the power on. All right, so see you shortly. All right, family, so the tank has been filling for a while, so let's check in to see the water pressure. So as you can see, a lot of air is built up in the system. So right now, we're just gonna wait for it to give us a steady stream. Once we get a steady stream of water, then we can turn the power on. Yeah. So see what happened? All that air came out the system. So now we're just running the water so we can get a steady stream. All right. And once we get a steady stream of water, as you can see, then we can go and we can turn on the power and let elements heat up and see if we got hot water. All right, so stay tuned. All right, my people, so Lynn is about to go upstairs and turn the power back on, and hopefully I connected everything right. So let me stay far just in case we get some sparks, you know. But so far, I mean, as you can see, we have everything connected. I don't have any leaks or anything like that. I had one small leak up here, but I was able to tighten it up well to where it's good to go. So now that we have no leaks, it's time to turn the power on and see what happens. Oh, we got power. Okay. All right, so we got power. I don't see any lights for the lower element yet, so we'll wait and see what happens. But so far so good. Everything's looking good. So we're going to give it a few and see what happens. It's going to take probably about 30 minutes or so for this thing to heat up. All right, so once everything is heated up and the water is good to go and we have hot water, I will let you know. You will be the first to know, and then you know if we figure out what we're gonna eat. So that's how now we eat, man. Anyway, but yeah, man, we're gonna wait and see how things go. All right, so go and stay tuned. As what I say, we're not doing too bad for ourselves, you know. Just see how things go. All right, my people. So we're at the final step of this process. So we met the water tank fill up, and then now we'll let the heating turn the power on, get the heating elements to warm up the water. So we're gonna test it now to see if we have hot water. Hopefully I did it right. I'm going full hot. Still cold. Ooh. I said it's hot. You see the steam? Look at that steam. Yeah. That's some steam coming off that bad. Woo! This thing is hot. All right. We are good to go. Daddy deserves a promotion. So that is it, no people. It wasn't that difficult. I just had to do it myself. But I saved myself. So cost price was with parts, I paid $714, counting my military discount. So it would have, even if I had bought the heater, the company was still charging me $1,700 to install it. So at the end of the day, even if I paid it still would have been like $2,500 to install it. So you see, it costs more to install it than the heater itself costs, you know? So it's good to learn some things for yourself. Like I've done this before, but again, it's a different type of water heater, and this is the first time I'm actually installing that pressure tank, you know. So, but you definitely need it. I learned something different, something new about what's up to code. So the guy was actually very good because he said, hey, this is what code requires. Code requires that you have a drip pan, you know, if it's a metal electric heater, you need a plastic pan, and you definitely need to have that expansion tank. So respect to him for that, for being honest and letting me know that it's probably better for me to install it myself, you know. So at least it's up to code, you know. So if they do come out and inspect the heater, it's up to code to do what it's supposed to do. So we have everything we need to do. So now that I got hot water back, I'm gonna cook some food. Cause I know that's now we pan. So Me not love you. No, I love you. So, let me see what we're going to cook. Alright? So, stay tuned, we soon start. Ha!